Better fuel efficiency, more power, less maintenance, and a longer range, these new engines will transform the B-52 like never before. The US Air Force is replacing its outdated F-33 engines with advanced Rolls-Royce F130's. But why keep 8 engines instead of 4? How will this bomber fly for nearly a century? Stay tuned to find out, and at the end, we'll reveal a game-changing upgrade for the B-52. Even though the B-52 is still a powerful bomber, its F-33 engines are outdated. These engines were introduced in the 1960s, and keeping them running today is a major challenge. They are fuel-hungry, expensive to maintain, and difficult to repair because spare parts are hard to find. Since they've been in use for so long, mechanics have to put in extra effort to keep them working, which increases maintenance costs and aircraft downtime. The Rolls-Royce F130 engines bring huge improvements over the old F-33's. One of the biggest benefits is increased thrust, meaning the engines provide more power while using less fuel. This helps the B-52 fly longer without needing as many refueling stops, making missions more efficient and cost-effective. Another major improvement is fuel efficiency. The old F-33 engines waste a lot of fuel, but the F-130 engines are designed to be much more efficient. This means the Air Force can save money on fuel while increasing the B-52's range. A more fuel-efficient aircraft can stay in the air longer and complete missions without having to refuel as often, which is extremely important for long-range bombing missions. The F-130 engines also require less maintenance. The old F-33 engines need constant repairs to stay operational, but the new ones are built with modern materials and extended maintenance cycles. This means less downtime and more B-52s ready for action at any given time. One of the most advanced features of the F-130 is its FADEC system, Full Authority Digital Engine Control. This is a smart computerized engine control system that constantly monitors performance, detects issues before they become serious, and automatically adjusts the engine for the best efficiency. This reduces the chances of sudden failures and makes maintenance much easier for Air Force mechanics. Another major upgrade is higher payload capacity. Since the new engines use less fuel, the B-52 will have extra weight capacity to carry more weapons, bombs, or supplies. This is a huge advantage in combat situations, as the B-52 can deliver more firepower over longer distances. It also makes the aircraft more useful for different types of missions, including precision strikes and support for ground troops. The new engines will also increase mission flexibility, meaning the B-52 can adapt to different situations more easily. Whether it's long-range bombing, intelligence gathering, or close air support, the aircraft will be able to perform better. The improved engines also make the B-52 faster to respond to threats, giving the Air Force more options when planning missions. When the US Air Force decided to upgrade the B-52's engines, one of the biggest questions was whether to switch to 4 larger engines or stick with the original 8-engine layout. Some modern aircraft, like the Boeing 747, have moved from 4 to 2 engines, so why didn't the Air Force do the same with the B-52? After careful study, they decided to keep the 8-engine setup, and there are some very good reasons for this decision. One major reason is airframe compatibility. The B-52 was designed from the beginning to have 8 engines, and switching to 4 bigger engines would mean major structural changes. The wings, engine mounts, and even the way the aircraft balances in flight would all have to be redesigned from scratch. This would cost billions of dollars and take years of extra testing before the new design could be approved for flight. By keeping 8 smaller engines, the Air Force avoids these costly and time-consuming changes. Another important factor is smoother integration. The new Rolls-Royce F130 engines are designed to fit into the same general space as the old F-33 engines. While there are still some modifications needed to the engine mounts, pylons, and fuel systems, these changes are much smaller compared to what would be needed for a 4-engine redesign. This means that the B-52s can be upgraded faster and more efficiently, getting them back in the air without long delays. Keeping 8 engines also improves safety and reliability. If 1 or 2 engines fail, the B-52 can still fly safely on the remaining ones. If the aircraft had only 4 bigger engines, losing one would cause a bigger imbalance and could be more dangerous. The 8-engine setup makes sure that the B-52 stays reliable and stable even if something goes wrong in flight. Upgrading the B-52's engines is a huge project that will take years to complete. The Air Force has launched the Commercial Engine Replacement Program, CRP, a multi-billion-dollar effort to replace the old TF-33 engines with modern Rolls-Royce F130 engines. This upgrade is being done in phases to make sure the B-52 stays in service without major interruptions. The first big milestone is in 2028, when the first B-52J test flights will begin. This means that a few B-52s will get the new engines first and go through extensive testing to make sure they work properly. Engineers will check things like fuel efficiency, performance, and reliability before the full rollout. Once the tests are successful, the Air Force will start replacing engines on the rest of the fleet. This will happen throughout the 2030s, with all active B-52s getting the F130 engines one by one. This slow and steady process is important because the B-52 is still an important bomber, and the Air Force can't afford to take them all out of service at once. By phasing the upgrades over several years, the Air Force ensures that some B-52s are always available for missions while others get their new engines. This way, the U.S. military can continue its operations without delays or gaps in defense. One of the biggest reasons for upgrading the B-52 is to strengthen U.S. nuclear deterrence. The B-52 is part of the nuclear triad, which includes land-based missiles, submarine-launched missiles, and strategic bombers. With its improved range and endurance, the B-52 will be able to stay in the air longer and reach targets faster, making sure the U.S. is always ready to respond to threats. Even though newer bombers like the B-2 Spirit and the upcoming B-21 Raider are designed for stealth missions, the B-52 still plays an important role. Unlike the B-2, which is designed to avoid radar detection, the B-52 is built to carry a massive payload and launch long-range missiles from a safe distance. This means it can fire weapons without ever getting close to enemy defenses. The new engines will make it more fuel efficient and reliable, allowing it to work side by side with modern bombers as part of the U.S. Air Force's strategy. The B-52 is also a critical asset for long-range strategic bombing missions. It can carry a variety of weapons, from conventional bombs to nuclear warheads and cruise missiles. With the new engines, it will be able to fly longer without refueling, reach distant targets more easily, and respond to threats anywhere in the world. Whether it's a combat mission, deterrence patrol, or a rapid response operation, the B-52 will remain one of the most versatile and powerful bombers in the Air Force. The new Rolls-Royce F130 engines will not only make the B-52 more powerful and fuel efficient, but they will also make it better for the environment. The old TF-33 engines, which have been in use since the 1960s, produce a lot of pollution and emissions because they burn fuel inefficiently. The F-130 engines, however, are built with modern technology that reduces emissions, making the B-52 less harmful to the environment. By burning fuel more efficiently, these new engines will help cut down on carbon emissions, which is an important step toward making military aviation more sustainable. Another major benefit of the F-130 engines is that they produce less noise than the outdated TF-33's. The old engines are extremely loud, which not only makes the aircraft easier to detect but also causes more stress on crews and ground personnel. The new engines are designed to be quieter, making the B-52 more stealthy and harder for enemies to track. This is especially important when the bomber is flying long-range missions, as lower noise levels mean it can approach targets more easily without being detected. The B-52 Stratofortress has been flying since 1952, and with its latest upgrades, it is expected to stay in service until at least 2050. But could it go even further? Some experts believe that with continuous upgrades, the B-52 could become the first military aircraft to serve for over 100 years. The new Rolls-Royce F130 engines are just one step in modernizing this legendary bomber, and future technology could make it even more advanced. One possible upgrade is AI-assisted targeting. Artificial intelligence, AI, could help identify and track targets more accurately, making missions more efficient. AI could also assist pilots by analyzing threats in real time, helping them make faster decisions in combat. This would make the B-52 even more effective in modern warfare. Another big improvement could be next-gen avionics, which means upgrading the radar, sensors, and communication systems. New technology could allow the B-52 to connect with drones and other aircraft, improving teamwork on the battlefield. Better radar and sensors would also make the bomber more aware of threats, helping it avoid enemy attacks. What do you think about these upgrades? Will the B-52 really make it to 100 years of service? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update on military tech and aviation.